2-1 win over Billingham Town today. An interesting game. What are your thoughts on it?
We had a game plan. We knew what they were going to do when they came here. Teams are always going to come in after last year's performance, coming top of the league. A lot of teams are going to come in and we expect them to sit off, and it's worked well with teams that have played against us. But what we've started to find now is we're trying to get better at breaking teams down that are going to sit off us. It was an interesting game because we had a lot of possession and they looked really well organised at times, and they were just looking to catch us on the counter. Sometimes it can be a bit frustrating, and we do get frustrated. You can see that from the side. But overall, I think we were always edging it to get that goal. I mean, there's brief periods when they're trying to counter-attack and things get a bit messy, but overall, I think everyone keeps it really under control, and with the talking's brilliant, so we keep it organised as best we can.
And obviously, first penalty he managed to score, and then the second one he steps up. And how do you kind of find the edge over him to stop that one when he's already beaten you once?
Well, on the first one, you unless you've done your research, it's sort of a guess. It's any man's guess. So you try and read the body language. Now, when it comes to the second one, they often say good penalty takers will go the same way. Again, they're confident enough. If you put a good penalty, the keeper should never get saved. So I've tried to go the same way. And I mean, I spoke to him after, and he's tried to smash it as hard as he can. So it made my life easy because he's just divoted it into the floor and it's hit me in the knees. But psychological wise, you try and just repeat the same things to keep his thoughts the same as last time, so you sort of can guess where he's going to go.
And have you been working on penalties with the kind of thoughts that it could go to penalties, these FA Cup games?
Well, there always is that thought, and as it's getting later into the game, you're thinking about what certain players have done in the game. Do they like to cut inside and whip a ball in, or do they like smashing it? And those little things you try and think of the last sort of 2 or 3, 5 minutes. But sort of work, I mean, you might do at the end in the training. We always do a daft penalties. Couple of lads like to do it, like Nathan, who always steps up for pens. He always has a pen or two at the end. But apart from that, we don't really look into it sort of personal. You go off experience, and sometimes you see stuff on TV and you think, oh, I like that, so you try and add that into your sort of routine.
And how did you kind of find the lockdown period coming back? Because I believe you had a bit of an injury through that kind of period of time.
It was a weird one we think it came at the right time. Because I mean, when before lockdown came into we were planning to get me back within 2 or 3 games, and then found out halfway through lockdown I was still unable to kick a ball, play football, and I was just about walking or running as the start of the pre-season, couldn't really play. But I think after everyone came out of lockdown, I have quite an active job anyway. I was doing a lot of walking and running and just playing little daft games with a football team that I run. That sort of helped, sort of like rehabilitation. But it was hard. But Sam's a great physio, and he gave me stuff to do over the time, and I tried my best to do as much of it I can. And it's hard when you can't tell how bad it is, obviously, by not feeling it or touching it. So that's the hardest thing that it was about it.
And one final one, you're kind of fast approaching 50 appearances to Stockton Town. How have you kind of enjoyed your time at the club so far?
Oh, really well. I mean, when I first came here, I just said, how professional is it? That was one of my first questions that I put to Mickey and Marty, because when I came here, the last setup I was at, I didn't think it was as professional as I really wanted it to be. And from day one, I've just really enjoyed it. Everyone's on board with the same ideas. People aren't just turning up to play and go home. As such, everyone's here for the same reasons. They want to play higher, or they've got something to prove, and it's refreshing because training isn't. Some people turn up thinking, "Oh, I've had work." It's really 100% intense, and it's really good because I'm dead competitive, and all the lads are. So even if it's training or a game, we'll always put 100% in. So it's quite refreshing to see.